What's up, vapors? Thanks for checking out Daily Vape TV. My name is Nick, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Origo RDTA. Alright guys, so this is not so much a review as it is a first impressions. They sent me this device here to get my opinions on it and basically asked me of what they think I should change about this tank, but I wanted to keep you guys posted on what I've got going on and what they've got going on. So here we're taking a look at the Rocvape Origo RDTA, or Rebuildable Dripping Tank Atomizer, very similar to the Subohm Innovations Big Dripper atomizer that they came out with a little while ago. But this one here is a little bit different. I like it because it's top fill. It's got a nice clear glass tank, and I like that you could kind of see what's going on. You can see the inner workings of this device, and it's got bottom airflow, which I think is pretty cool as well. But I did receive this product for free from the manufacturer for the purpose of doing this video. However, it has no monetary value to me, which means my opinions on it will remain honest and unbiased, of course, as always. So with that being said, I would like to give a big shout out and thank you to Rocvape. They're the ones that sent this device to me for the purpose of making this video. So thank you guys so very much, and I really hope you listen to some of my suggestions as well as the other people that you got this thing in their hands. But anyways, let's just do a few little clouds for you guys just to show you some vapor production. So before we go down to the close-up view, I did want to give you guys a little bit more detail about this device here. It is 22 millimeters in diameter by 74 millimeters in height. It has a tank capacity of 3 milliliters. It's 510 threaded. Of course, it has adjustable airflow. It's top fill, and it's got a 2-post deck with Pyrex and stainless steel construction. So that's really all the information that I have on this device here. But otherwise, it's kind of like what you're used to if you've ever seen the Subohm Innovations Big Dripper. You push down on the drip tip here, and it feeds your coils. It's really interesting, and I haven't seen too many other designs out there like it. But yeah, this thing is actually pretty darn neat. So with that being said, you might have seen my build video last Friday on this thing here. I did a single coil fused Clapton, and it came out to 0.4 ohms of resistance. I'm vaping it at 40 watts right now. I'm just going to do one more quick cloud for you guys, then we'll go down to the close-ups. Alright guys, let's dive down to the close-up view and take a better look at this thing. Alright vapors, so here you can see the Rocvape Origo RDTA in its original box. Just taking a quick look around the box, there's really nothing much to show off here. Just their logo, website, all that good stuff. And on the back, pretty basic information, what's in the box, their features, and a brief little overview here. Pretty much exactly like what's on their website. So that's about it to show as far as the box is concerned. Let's just go ahead and take it out now. Wha-bam. Underneath here we have a quick start guide. This is like the most basic, get that there, pretty basic instructions. A little bit easier with the graphics. I really like the graphics that they put on these, and they're getting better. I've seen a lot of these sort of instructions, and they're getting better. So I guess there's that. Let's go ahead and bring this back in real quick. Here we can see the tank itself. Let's just go ahead and take that out. In this little compartment here we have some extra parts, extra O-rings, little tiny shred of cotton there, and a couple extra screws, which I've already had to use one of the extra screws because I stripped one out already. Now, you also get a glass tank here, a replacement glass tank, which is kind of nice because it's going to be pretty tricky to find a replacement glass if you really had to, if you ended up breaking your glass. There you go, nothing else in there, nothing else to show. So let's go ahead and tighten up on this here, and we'll take a better look at it from top to bottom. So starting off with the drip tip, it is lined with Delrin. Hopefully you guys can see that. Let's get that in focus. It has a Delrin liner, but on the outer metal piece here, it is very sharp. That's almost like cut your lips sharp. So I would say be very careful on that if they don't end up fixing that for the final version. Just kind of doesn't feel quite finished to me. I feel like they still have some work to do on that drip tip there. But that's actually your plunger as well, so you're going to be pushing down on that to actually drip some juice into your tank, or into the chamber, I should say. Unscrewing the top cap here. It's about 3 threads or so. We have this O-ring, which kind of prevents the drip tip from falling out the bottom every time. Be careful when cleaning this tank, because this O-ring can easily just kind of come right out, and then it's kind of difficult to get back in. Oh, there we go, just popped back into place, luckily for me. If this comes out, then the drip tip can come with it, so just let that be a warning to you guys. Don't lose this O-ring right there. I wish they would have put an extra one in the parts kit. Unfortunately, they did not. Now, when this isn't attached to the tank, this drip tip just kind of floats around like that. Again, I kind of feel like they could have added a spring to it or something, or I don't know, just added some piece in there that would prevent it from doing that, because it just kind of rattles around like that. So that's, I don't know, for some reason that just annoys me. Moving forward here, we have our chimney section, the top of the chimney with the juice fill holes, which are ample, definitely big enough for your normal dripper bottle. So yeah, it's pretty easy to fill. That's one thing I do like about it, is that it's very easy to fill. Again, this is the spring-loaded piece right here. So this actually has the spring in it. Again, a word of warning when you're cleaning this, it can come out. I was cleaning this thing and the spring flew out of it, so just let that be a warning for you guys out there. Now you can see the double O-rings on the 2 sections there and a single O-ring at the bottom. These make a pretty decent seal. I'm just going to take the glass off real quick. It's not overly difficult to take the glass off, which is actually kind of a good thing for me, especially for cleaning this thing. I like to be able to get in there and really give this a good scrub down, especially with the inlet and everything like that. Actually, I'm going to leave the tank off for a second and show you the actual juice inlet right there. Unfortunately, it's not at the bottom. You can see it's almost halfway up the shaft of the chimney, which I think is a major flaw in this design, because that's how the juice actually gets in to flow down to the little drippers down there. And that's going to be a big problem when your tank is almost empty. So basically you have about a half a mil's worth of juice left, you're screwed. You have to kind of tilt it around and find ways to get the juice into that inlet there. So that, I think, is a major design flaw that definitely needs some work. You can kind of see the little spouts there. Actually, if we take this piece off, you can see the little spouts, whatever you want to call them, in the bottom, and that's actually where your juice is coming from. And those work pretty darn efficiently. I've seen it where I've pumped it a few times, and just when I think I'm going to flood it by accident, I let go of the plunger and it kind of sucks the juice back up. So whatever your last drip is on this thing, it might end up sucking it back up the tube and not dropping. So just keep an eye on that. But overall, that is a pretty decent system. You can also see kind of the bore down there. There you go. There's the bore of this chimney. It's a little bit narrow. I will say it's a little bit narrow. Not my favorite in the world, but it does the trick. It's decent enough for, you know, a half ohm coil or something like that. So yeah, that's pretty much all there really is to say about this piece here. I'm actually going to put the glass piece back on. But yeah, that glass piece comes off pretty easily, but this does not leak, which is great. So those are 2 good factors to have on the tank. Looking at the build deck now, it's a simple 2-post design. Really nothing fancy about it. It's not really like, you know, Petri 2-post design. It's not like Velocity 2-post design. It's kind of their own thing. I feel like the posts are almost leaning in on each other. I don't know if you guys can tell just by looking at the video, but I feel like the posts are kind of leaning into each other, which just makes it feel a little bit more cheap. Again, as far as the cheapness goes, I feel like this positive post is going to wiggle out on me. I'm just in constant fear of that. Speaking of cheap, we'll say the screws are the cheapest I've ever seen. These screws are bad. Pretty much the worst screws I've ever used on any device. They're very cheap, very chunky, kind of like the threads just are garbage. I hate the screws that come with it. But anyways, moving on, we have the airflow section at the bottom here. It's bottom airflow, single air hole. Really, it's designed for a single coil. I can't really see a way to get a dual coil setup close enough to that air hole where it's going to allow for good airflow to each coil. On their website, it shows a dual coil setup, but I really don't think that's possible. Yeah, it works very well though in a single coil. The juice well is pretty deep and the middle chimney airflow section is pretty tall, so that combination kind of leads it to not leak, which is definitely an advantage. So here you can see the adjustable airflow, which if you get a good look at it, you can see right through it. I don't know if that really comes through on the video at all. There we go. You can see right through it. You can kind of see where the positive block though, I don't think I'll be able to capture this on the video, but the positive block almost cuts off the airflow, which is, I feel like, where the whistling comes from. So definitely a negative. I don't like the whistling at all on this tank here. Not really too much else to say except for the fact that the airflow is a little bit dumb. If you turn it one way and all the way to one side, it cuts off the airflow completely. Now it allows you to do almost a full 360. I'm spinning the deck part because it's pretty much easier to show. But when you spin it all the way to the other side, it's fully cut off as well. So it's not like a fully open, click, fully closed, click kind of thing. No, it's just completely random, full spin. You can tell they only put one pin in it so that it just stops it from making from free spinning all the way around. So that airflow system definitely needs another stopper in there to prevent it from being fully closed off in both ends, whether it's you turn it all the way clockwise or counterclockwise. And finally, we have the bottom piece here. Really nothing special to show. It's an extremely basic logo on there. I haven't tested this pin to see if it's fully adjustable or not. I don't believe it is. I think that every time you loosen up this piece here, it's going to loosen up the positive connection on here. So I'm going to have to do a little bit more testing on that, and I guess I'll get back to you in a follow-up review if I end up doing the full review on this thing. So let that be known. I have not tested the 510 connection. It looks to be gold-plated or something like that, but again, really nothing too fancy on the bottom there. So I'm just going to once again put it together. Actually, I did want to mention while I'm here that it came pre-built. Now on the website it says it comes with a Clapton coil, and it did not come with a Clapton coil or anything like a Clapton coil. It came with basically twisted 26 gauge wire. That's what it looked like to me. So nowhere near a Clapton coil. Maybe they're saving those for the good reviewers, or maybe for the full retail package. Anyways, let's go back to the main screen, have a vape on this thing, and we'll talk about it some more. Alright guys, now we're going to go over some of my thoughts on this device, and we'll start off today with the pros. My first pro is that it doesn't leak. So I've been using this thing for the past couple of weeks, and it's been in and out of my vape bag. Sometimes I'll just leave it in there for a few days, and when I go to take a look at it, I was astonished to find no leakage whatsoever. Completely dry in the bottom of my bag, which you would think something like this would leak, but nope, no leaking whatsoever, which is definitely a pro in my book. My second pro is the pump action is smooth and foolproof. You just pump it 3 times or hold it down for a few seconds and you're going to juice up your coils no problem. And I took this thing with me on an 1.5-hour car ride, and it was very easy to just drip it with one hand. I was ready to vape again in no time, and that's kind of the ultimate test for me. If I can drive with a tank that is very easy to use and gives me a satisfying vape, then it's definitely good in my book. My third pro is a better build deck than the Subohm Innovations Big Dripper. I have built on the Big Dripper in the past, and I felt like it was way too cramped. I really needed a little bit more room. This thing here, it's super easy to build on. You just put a coil in there and angle it just right. You might have seen me build it in my previous Fresh Build Friday video. So yeah, that was pretty much a breeze for me to build on, and I definitely think you guys would have an easy time with it as well. So next up we have easy to build and wick. Like I just said, it's very easy to build it, wick it, take it apart, clean it out, do whatever you got to do. This thing is pretty much foolproof. This is like pretty much a foolproof device, which is great. And my final pro is that filling the tank is super easy. It just has a couple threads at the top. You just unscrew it like that. It's got nice big juice holes there that you can fill it with your juice. It's not going to get anything down the center shaft because it's raised. And there you go. You cap it back up, you're good to go. Next, we're going to move on to some cons. Now, unfortunately, this is kind of a big list for me, and I hope they fix a few of these things before they come out with a full retail version. My first con is going to be the fact that it feels cheap. Now this thing is listed as $38.95 on their website. Although it's not fully out yet, I feel like that's going to be their price point. I feel like that's a little bit too much for a device like this in its current state because it just feels kind of cheap. It has that cheap machining feel to it. The drip tip doesn't feel quite finished. It lacks like that smooth edge. It's kind of a rough, hard edge on the drip tip, and I really don't like that fact at all. But overall, it just kind of has that cheap machining kind of feel to it. My next con is that the airflow needs work. It whistles like crazy. You probably have heard it in this video where I'll be vaping on it and you can really hear when you're vaping on this thing. So this is definitely not a stealth device whatsoever. My third con, non-removable drip tips. I complain about this with any tank that you can't take out the drip tip and put in your own. Pretty much all the Council of Vapor products have the same problem in my book, and this one is, lacking that as well. So unfortunately, that's going to be a con for me. Just please allow us to put our own drip tips in. Even if it has to be a certain width or whatever, that's fine. I'll find a tip that works for me, but honestly, having a metal tip like that is a big no-no for me. Although it is lined with Delrin and all that stuff, still not a huge fan at all. Next up, we have single coil format doesn't quite work. It feels kind of outdated with a single coil. I just kind of wish it would have, 2 holes per post or something like that, so it would even be easier to build a dual coil on it. They should probably have 2 airflow holes or something like that so that it's easier to build a single or a dual coil on. I feel like that wouldn't be too hard of a task to accomplish, and it just feels like this thing is stuck like 2 years ago. So next up we have pump comes apart when cleaning. Unfortunately, I was cleaning it and I was whipping the water out of it, and the spring and pump mechanism went flying across the room. I had to search for it. It was not a fun experience. Hopefully they end up putting a locking mechanism or something to prevent that from happening on the full retail version. So yeah, the 22mm format makes it tall and ugly. This thing is like a skyscraper on top of this stout here, and if you put it on the Rouleau, it just doesn't look right at all. I kind of wish they would do a 24mm format because I feel like that's a little bit more modern and it would look better on some of the more modern devices. Everyone's doing, bigger batteries and stuff like that, so I feel like that's just kind of the way things are going to go from here on out. And this thing is kind of stuck in the past again. It's super tall. It's like a skyscraper. It's just kind of ugly. That's very subjective, I know, but that's just me. Next up, we have screws need an overhaul. These screws in here are terrible. Pretty much the worst screws I've ever seen on a device. And I stripped one out during my Fresh Build Friday video, and it was a nightmare. So they really need to redo these screws completely. Just get rid of whatever they're working with right now and replace them because these screws are bad. The tank inlet is also halfway up the chimney, which does not help. As you can see, maybe you can see right now, my juice level is getting pretty low, and it's the inlets on the tank section, as you saw in the close-ups, are a little ways up on the chimney. Not a big fan of that. They should have really made those holes way down at the bottom. I feel like this is something they could easily fix, and hopefully they do by the final retail version. Next and final con today, we have the chamber and chimney is too small. That's what I'm guessing because I'm getting a very hot vape out of this, and that's probably because I'm rocking a single coil on it right now. It's only at 40 watts though, but I don't know. Just for me, I just feel like they need to be able to handle some higher wattage, especially with the more modern devices, etc. Like I've been saying this entire con section, it just seems kind of outdated. But that's all I got for the pros and cons. I'm actually going to skip the next section where I usually go over whether or not I would purchase this device, because as of right now, I would probably say no. But if they fix a few things on my cons list, then I feel like I would end up purchasing this, because I like the form factor of it. I like the idea behind it, and they definitely have something to kind of mold and work with right here. But with that being said, I'm just going to blow a few more clouds and then I'll sign out. Alright guys, that about does it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to stay tuned, because I'm sure this is not the last of this thing that you're going to see. Hopefully I'll be able to get the full retail version when it finally comes out, just to showcase that for you guys and do a proper review of this thing. Until then, you might see it in a future Let's Vape video, but I guess that's to be determined. Anyways guys, if you like this video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more videos just like this. Don't forget to check out the advocacy links in the description below. I got them there for you so you can fight for your right to vape. Of course, leave comments on what you think of this device. You think it's a good form? Do you think it's a stupid idea? Let me know what you think down there. I'd love to talk it out with you guys. Also, check me out on my different social medias. I have Twitter and Instagram. Make sure you follow me on there. Like my page on Facebook. Check out my Snapchat. And if you want to give me a couple of bucks on Patreon, that would be great too. Anyways, guys, that about does it for this video. And as always, vape on.